is tornado? In the small town of Greenfield, where sun-kissed fields stretched as far as the eye could see, a group of friends Max, Sam, Maffin found themselves exploring every nook and cranny. One day while rummaging through the local junkyard, they stumbled upon an old, mysterious-looking machine that seemed out of place among discarded trash and broken appliances. The machine, with its rusty metal exterior and complex system of wires and levers, looked like something out of a science fiction movie, and the boys couldn't help but feel drawn to it. As they approached the machine, they noticed a small plaque attached to its side, bearing the inscription, "Tornado Machine, property of Professor Everett." Sam, on the other hand, was more cautious, warning his friends about the potential dangers of messing with something they didn't understand. Alex, the thrill seeker of the group, was excited at the prospect of discovering what the machine could do and encouraged Max to keep experimenting. As they continued to tinker with the machine, they accidentally unleashed a small tornado that began to wreak havoc on the junkyard, sending debris flying in all directions. The boys were shocked and amazed by the machine's power, but they knew they had to find a way to control it before things got out of hand. Just as they were trying to figure out how to stop the tornado, they heard a loud, menacing laugh echoing from behind a pile of crates. Jake, the notorious bully, emerged from the shadows, his eyes fixed greedily on the tornado machine. Well, what do we have here? Jake sneered, his voice dripping with malice. A machine that can create tornadoes. That's just what I need to take over this town. The boys knew they had to act fast, as Jake began to circle around them, his eyes fixed on the machine with an unnerving intensity. "We're not going to let you have it, Jake," Max said firmly, standing his ground and trying to sound braver than he felt. Jake sneered, his face twisting into a cruel grin. "Oh, I think you will. You see, I've been looking for something like this for a long time, and I'll do whatever it takes to get it." The air was electric with tension as the two groups faced off, the only sound being the distant hum of the tornado machine, still wearing from their earlier experiment. Sam, trying to defuse the situation, suggested they all work together to learn how to control the machine, but Jake just laughed. "You think I need your help? I'll show you what real power looks like." Jake lunged at the machine, but Alex was quick to react, grabbing hold of it and pulling it away just in time. "You're not taking this from us, Jake. It's too powerful to fall into your hands." The chase was on, with Jake and his gang hot on the heels of Max, Sam and Alex as they ran through the junkyard, dodging old cars and leaping over piles of scrap metal. As they emerged onto the streets of Greenfield, the boys could see the chaos their earlier experiment had caused. Trees were uprooted, roofs were torn off houses, and debris littered the sidewalks. The townspeople were scrambling to clean up the mess, but the boys knew they had to focus on stopping Jake and keeping the tornado machine out of his hands. They weaved in and out of alleys and side streets, trying to lose Jake's gang, but he seemed to always be one step behind, his determination to get the machine growing more menacing by the minute. As the sun began to set over Greenfield, casting long shadows across the town, Max had an idea. "We need to get to the town hall and warn Ever about Jake's plan," he exclaimed, already starting to sprint towards the building. Sam and Alex followed close behind, the tornado machine clutched tightly in Alex's arms as they ran, the sound of Jake's laughter in through the streets, a reminder that their adventure was far from over. The boys burst into the town hall, out of breath and panicked, with Jake's gang closing in behind them. "We need to warn everyone about the tornado," Max exclaimed, rushing to the mayor's office. But before they could reach the door, a loud siren blared outside, and a voice boomed from the speakers, "Tornado warning issued for Greenfield. Seek shelter immediately." The boys exchanged nervous glances. It was happening. The massive tornado was coming, and they were the only ones who knew how to stop it. Alex clutched the machine tightly, his mind racing with the possibilities. "We have to use this to create a counter-tornado," he said, determination etched on his face. Sam nodded in agreement. "But we need to get to a safe location first. The town's emergency shelter is just a few blocks away." As they made their way through the chaotic streets, Jake and his gang appeared out of nowhere, blocking their path. "You're not going anywhere," Jake sneered, his eyes gleaming with malice. The boys stood firm, refusing to back down. "We're not going to let you stop us, Jake," Max said, his voice steady. "We have to save this town." The air was electric with tension as the two groups faced off, the tornado machine at the center of the standoff. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind blew through, sending debris flying everywhere. "It's now or never," Alex shouted above the din. "Let's do this." With newfound determination, the boys charged forward, ready to face whatever lay ahead and save their town from the impending disaster. The boys clashed with Jake's gang in a fierce battle, with trash cans and debris flying through the air as they fought for control of the tornado machine. But Alex, Max, and Sam worked together seamlessly, using their unique skills to outmaneuver their opponents and protect the device. As the fight raged on, the sound of sirens grew louder, and the winds howled with increasing intensity, signaling the tornado's approach. Just when it seemed like Jake's gang was about to overpower them, Sam came up with a clever idea, using the machine to create a small whirlwind that blew their attackers off balance. The boys took advantage of the distraction to make a run for the emergency shelter. The tornado machine clutched tightly in Alex's hands as they dashed through the streets. They burst into the shelter, slamming the door shut behind them. Just as the massive tornado tore through the town, its roar deafening and the walls shaking beneath their feet. Alex quickly set up the machine, his fingers flying across the controls as he worked to create a counter-tornado to neutralize the threat. Max and Sam stood by, watching anxiously as the device hummed to life, its energy output growing stronger by the second. The counter-tornado erupted from the machine, a swirling column of air that shot out into the stormy sky and collided with the massive tornado, in a spectacular display of wind and water. The two tornadoes churned and twisted, their winds screaming in a cacophony of sound as they fought for dominance over the town. But slowly, the counter-tornado began to gain the upper hand, its winds pushing back against the massive tornado and gradually dissipating its energy. As the storm subsided, the boys let out a triumphant cheer, relieved and exhausted but proud of what they had accomplished. The townspeople emerged from their shelters, blinking in the bright sunlight as they surveyed the damage to their homes and businesses. But despite the destruction, there was a sense of hope and gratitude in the air, as the people of Greenfield realized that the boys had saved them from an even greater disaster. The mayor approached the boys, a broad smile on his face. "You three are heroes," he said, shaking their hands. "Your bravery and quick have saved this town from certain destruction." Alex, Max, and Sam grinned at each other, basking in the praise and adoration of their fellow townspeople. As they walked away from the shelter, they knew that their lives would never be the same, that they had discovered a new sense of purpose and responsibility as the guardians of Greenfield's safety. The tornado machine, once a curiosity, had become a powerful tool in their hands, a symbol of their ability to protect and serve their community. And as they disappeared into the crowd, the boys couldn't help but wonder what other adventures lay ahead for them, now that they had become legendary tornado tamers of Greenfield.
Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching my short story. Subscribe.